The first question I have is, Ace, how do I build trust with clients within the first 30 seconds of a mortgage call? How do you build trust in the first 30 seconds of a phone call? I think it's twofold. Number one, if you could have technology and automation doing some of the branding for you before the phone call even begins or as soon as the phone call begins, I think that's a major point. For example, for the last 10, 15 years as I've been selling, I've always created something called the intro text and the intro email. I would simply have my sticky note on the desktop and I'd copy paste the message and send it to the client I'm talking to. I'd copy paste the email and send it to the client I'm talking to. And as soon as they answer within the first 10 seconds, I want them to get an email and a text message from me right away. That's like kind of branding and building trust before I even have to say anything on the phone. So imagine I call you and I'm like, "Hey, Liam, it's Ace with you from Ace's Academy." And at the same exact time, you get a text message and an email, and it's like, "Hey, my name's Ace with Ace's Academy, and I've been consulting for the last 5 years, and I've done over $1 billion in sales, and it has my picture and my signature in it." And you get that in an email, you're like, shit, this guy's professional, because you're looking at an email and text, and I'm talking to you at the same time. So it kind of builds credibility with me and you because you're getting different forms of communication. Especially in mortgages, if you're talking about mortgage sales, with all the fraud spams, when you're doing mortgage and solar and people are scared, they need to see that brand in the beginning. So I would say build a custom text and a custom email that you copy and paste to every single person you talk to as soon as they answer the phone. It should have your name, your brand, what you stand for, and a nice picture. Now I do it automated. I use Bonzo, and as soon as I get a new client inside of my CRM, they automatically get a text, email, and a voicemail. And it's doing the same exact thing. So that's how I would do it with technology or with copy pasting a message to build the trust before I even talk to them. Now, while I'm talking to them, the way I build trust is doing the same exact thing, but now I'm doing it verbally. Now it's like I'm telling you it on the phone, like, "Hey, my name is Ace. I've been doing mortgages for the last decade. I work with every lender under the sun. Most importantly, I work for you and your family. So I'm definitely going to take great care of you today. I sent you a text and with my credentials because I want you to feel safe. Anyways, tell me, what are you looking to get accomplished?" So they got a text email. I gave them my personal brand and I told them I texted and emailed you so you feel comfortable with me. And that's the way I build trust in the first 30 seconds of a phone call, pretty much by saying it and then backing it up with a text and an email. So hopefully that answers your question. If you don't have an intro text and an email, make sure you do have one and you're leveraging that because it's super important. A lot of times clients literally, today I had somebody call me back and she's like, "I talk to a lot of people, but I'm sorry for not answering you because once I read your email and everything about you, I know you're a professional and I want to work with you." So it was me sending her a nice email in the beginning and a text that got her to call me back 5 days later. So these tools and resources and missiles, if used properly, can help you get a lot more conversations engaging. All right, second question we got is, what's the best way to respond when somebody says, "I'm shopping around"? Let's think about this for a second. Who really likes shopping around? Like, who enjoys going to 5 stores in the mall in a row and saying like,
"All right, the jacket's this much at this store. Let me go to the next store. The jacket's this much at this store. Let me go to the next store. Jacket's this much. Let me go to this store."
like who really enjoys doing that? Does anybody enjoy doing that? I don't think anybody really enjoys doing that. Unless it's your full-time job. Like I told my wife, she's so good at finding deals for like brand name stuff. She'll get me like badass shoes that cost 1,800. She'll find them on sale for like 1,100. In her case, I tell her like, you can make a bill out of that and you should be doing this for a living. Whole different story. Nobody really likes shopping around. So when somebody says they're shopping around, what they're really saying is, "I don't trust that you're giving me the best deal." So instead of them saying shopping around, pretend they're saying, "I don't trust that you're giving me the best deal." How would you answer that? And it'd be the same exact way you answer shopping around. So if somebody tells me I'm shopping around when I'm in the mortgage world, that's very easy for me. Like, "Hey, I'm a professional shopper." First I acknowledge them. I say, "I totally understand you're shopping around and you want to get the best deal. I also understand your time is valuable and there's 40,000 brokers out there and you could shop till you drop. I'm a professional shopper. That's what I do for you, man. I reach out to every single lender across the sun. I make sure that you're getting the best deal. I price this out for you. Here's why it's the best deal. Here's what happens if we go a little lower. Here's what happens when we go higher. Ultimately, it's accomplishing your goals, which were A, B, and C. The most important things to you, right? Yup. Perfect. This is the best deal. No need to shop around. Don't get a headache. I'll get that for you. Here's the next steps." And I go straight back to my close. So really, when somebody says they're shopping around, the best way to respond and acknowledge that is like, "Hey, I do all the shopping for you. And the reason you're getting a best deal is because A, B, and C. And because you told me your main goals were A, B, and C. This accomplishes A, B, and C. Therefore, it is the best deal. Here are the next steps. And I pivot right back to the close. And if you say that in a confident way and your product or service makes sense, your brand makes sense, it would be. Now, look, sometimes somebody says I'm shopping around and I know they could get a better deal. What do you do in that case? If I'm talking to a borrower in mortgages, like I'm not cutting my comp down all the way. I charge what I think I earned on that call. So sometimes I'll say like, look, you could shop this around and I'm sure you could probably get it $1,000 cheaper if you shop and call 10, 20 people. But that $1,000 cheaper, I'm going to make it up to you. And my speed in which I call you and my service in which I check up on you and the process work I do with my team being on top of everybody just like I'm on top of you. You're dealing with a professional. $1,000 a month that's finance is literally pennies and dimes over the months. And I'm worth every single penny and dime that is. So you could shop it around. You could probably find something slightly better. It's not going to make or break you. This deal makes sense. I've accomplished all your goals. Here's the next steps to move forward. What are they going to say then? Like,
No, I want to save $3 a month and shop this around.
I'm like, no, it doesn't really make sense. Come on, you're working with me. Am I worth $3? It's less than a Starbucks coffee if you still drink Starbucks. So shopping around is, I don't trust you. Tell me why I'm getting the best deal and why I shouldn't shop it around. You got to reverse engineer that question. What would be a good strategy in your opinion to ask for referrals in the solar industry? My strategy around referrals is the same for any industry, right? My strategy is if you talk to a client and you don't help them, ask for a referral. If you talk to a client and you do help them, definitely ask for a referral. If you talk to a client and you can't help them, ask for a referral. Anybody you talk to, anywhere you go, ask for a referral. Referral should be a 24/7 strategy that never stops. For example, I was cutting my hair a week ago. And while I was cutting my hair, I was checking up on my barber. He was checking up on me. As I was talking to my barber, I started talking to him about cash and cash outs and how popular they are because he thought it's a tough market right now for mortgages. I'm like, it's not a tough market. For a fact, this is the hottest market because people need the help the most right now. If you're in solar, people need to save money the most right now. If you're in mortgages, people need cash the most right now. If you're in life insurance, people need protection for their family the most right now. It's the most important time right now, no matter what you're in, because you create the urgency for your product or service. So anyways, I'm talking to him. Then he's like, yeah, I never thought about that. I'm like, yeah, what do you owe on your mortgage? He's literally trimming me up. He tells me, oh, what's the value of your house? I'm like, bro, I could get you like 200,000 cash out tomorrow on this. He's like, what if I don't use that? I said, pay it back and keep the line. I said, the more equity lines you have, the more power you have. He's like, you can really do that for me? I call my assistant on speaker while I'm cutting my hair. Hey, his name is this. His date of birth is this. I literally wrote the guy a loan in 7 minutes while he's cutting my hair. That's a referral, right? Like I went out there and I got it myself. It's self-sourced business that I could have got. And then after that, I'm like, yo, that was easy, wasn't it? That was great. Like you're going to get the cash in 5 days. It was awesome, right? Who's 2 or 3 people that you know in your family need the money, man? Everyone's struggling right now. I don't really have time, bro, but I really appreciate you and I want to take care of them. Who do you have for me to call right now? Not, hey, do you know anybody for me to call? Who do you have for me to call right now? So when I say referrals, if I can't help somebody, I'm like, hey, man, I really couldn't help you today. It didn't really make sense for you, or you didn't qualify, whatever it is. But here's what I'm going to do, man. I'm going to keep your file on my desk. I'm going to check up on you every 6 months. And because I couldn't help you today, I'm going to go ahead and spend an extra 30 minutes trying to help somebody that you love or care about. Who do you know from your friends or family that would appreciate saving some money on their electric bill?
I don't know.
Come on, man. I mean, you don't know anybody that wants to save money? Do you know the neighbor? What's their name? Do you know your brothers, sisters, cousins? You have to know somebody that wants to save some money. I mean, everybody needs to save money. I don't want all of them. I just need one person. And you ask for it. And then if you help somebody out, that's even easier because now they trust you because you helped them. So I'm like, yeah, I'm going to do everything in my power to get this closed for you. Make sure you appreciate and respect me and make this a long-term relationship. As a matter of fact, I'm going to give you a free client checkup. Who do you know from your friends or family that needs the same help as you? And that would be another strategy to ask for referrals. And then outside of that, everywhere you're going, whether I'm in an Uber car or I'm stopping at a gas station or I'm talking to somebody on TikTok, there's always an opportunity for a referral. There's always an opportunity to recruit. Half of my brokers that I have in my shop are people that I met in the streets, not people that I recruited. It's people that reach out to me on social media, people that I seen at a gas station. I'm like, hey, this guy's pretty good, man. He talks good. Someone that I seen at a restaurant. Like referrals and recruiting should always be happening. if you're about your business. How do I get more realtor referrals without begging for them? This is a good one if you want to work with realtors or if you want to work with anybody that could be a good source of referral business for you. But the way you get more referrals from realtors or anybody for that matter is figuring out what their custom value is and approaching them on their custom value. Meaning, if I talk to a realtor and I'm like, man, this realtor is really struggling with closing deals. Well, I probably don't want to talk to that realtor anyways, but let's just say I do want to talk to them, then I'm going to help him find more deals. So maybe my value for that realtor is like, hey, I noticed that, you're closing 1 or 2 a month. I have some lead source that I'm getting. It's a lot of people that want to purchase. I'm going to start sending them your way. He's like, wow, this person's sending me business. I need a business. Now I'm going to send you business. Or let's say I talk to a realtor that, he's doing an open house and I'm like, hey, I could put together a kick-ass booth for you at the open house and make sure that I inform people, follow up with them and make them buy this house for you. Then I show him my work ethic and he sees that and he starts trusting me. I think for any realtor or somebody that you're trying to gain a relationship with or a partnership with, you got to research them. You got to figure out what's important to them. And once you figure out what's important to them, you got to show up with that thing and say, hey, here's your important thing. It's packaged in a box. Here you go. They're like, wow, how the hell did this person know that that's what I wanted? Because they did their research. Like I know Brad Lee talks about, he sends somebody a nice pair of shoes and they open the box and it's only one shoe. And then they say, call me to get the other one, like as a joke. He'll send like $2,000 shoes and he'll put one missing. I've trained a company where I've had them send an iPad inside of a box priority to a high-level CEO. And when he opens the box, it says, play me with a sticky note on it. And he plays it and it's a video of the other person talking to the owner. Thanks so much for getting this. This iPad's a gift for you, but it also comes with a message. And we share the video with them. Like there's a lot of creative ways that you could get people's business if you really research and figure out, the creative way to do it. So it takes some work, but it could get done. What script should I use to follow up without sounding desperate? What script should I use to follow up without sounding desperate? You should not use a follow-up script to follow up for follow-ups. That's how you don't sound desperate. Meaning never say I'm calling you to follow up with you because you're on my list to follow up with you because I'm just following up with you, because all that sounds is like you're flipping burgers because it's time to flip burgers and you're going to flip burgers because it's time to flip burgers. That's not the way it should work. Follow-up should always be a personal icebreaker with what happened last. And then I push them with the value, which is either their emotional goals or the pains I'm eliminating or the pleasures I'm connecting them to. It's, hey, James, hopefully you had a great dinner last night with your wife. I know we talked about a lot of important things for you. The most important thing was getting you financially free so you could retire in 6 years. Give me a call as soon as you get this. I got to get this program locked in for you before anything changes. And I'm leading with that. And then when I call the next person, hey, Susie, hopefully you had a great night out with the girls. I know you want to shop this around, Susie. I'm telling you, there's no need to shop. You're dealing with the best. I know that vacation's super important to you. You want to get some flexibility. I'm your guy, Susie. You don't got to shop me. Give me a call back as soon as you get this. We're going to get this thing locked and rolling. 313, blah, 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 blah. And the next person is different. And the next person is different. That's why whenever I follow up, believe it or not, I open up a separate tab for every single prospect I have because I want to look at their name, look at the information, look at what happened last, and then I want to go with a custom tailored approach before I call that person, and every single person is different. Look, we're in the age of 2025. Right now, the most important things in 2025 is custom value. It's no longer just saying the same thing to every single person and seeing what sticks. Maybe you could do that in the beginning on the first interaction. After the first interaction, it's all about this person goes in a custom lane, and that person goes in a custom lane, and that person goes in a custom lane. And depending on what you know about them, you have to work that custom lane for follow-ups. Can you go over your introduction for aggregate leads when you get them on the phone? What have you found most effective for getting their guard down and opening up to you? All right, so my introduction for ag leads when I get them on the phone, and an ag lead, for those of you that don't know, is someone that inquired online. It's an online lead. So if I get an ag lead, I'm like, hey, Andy, it's Alex giving you a call with West Capital Lending. I just got your information from freerateupdate.com. Looks like you're a flag for a phenomenal opportunity. So first thing is I acknowledge the ag lead, right? I just got your information from the ag lead. You're a flag for a great opportunity. Then I go into my brand. I've been doing this for 12 years. I work with every lender under the sun to find you the best deal. So you're definitely in good hands. What were you looking to get accomplished? So ag leads, it's confirming the ag lead, flag for a great opportunity, pivoting to the brand, and then pivoting to what they're trying to get accomplished. The second part of that question was, what have you found most effective for getting their guard down and opening up to you? I think that happens over time, right? It's not like I just say one thing and they get their guard down. It's like I have a strong introduction with a brand. That's one notch to get their guard down. Then as I'm talking to them, I share a story. That's a second notch. Then I get a story, third notch. And I ask a good question and get deep with them, fourth notch. And I throw in a joke and they laugh, fifth notch. Like you're warming them up the whole time. A great sales interaction is like a great date. You don't just walk into a date and you throw one joke and then that person throws their pants off and then you get that person. Like, no, it takes time and it takes consecutive conversation and it takes building rapport and digging deep and laughing and crying and emotions and tonality and sharing stories and figuring out what that person likes and talking about the right things. Getting people's guard down takes time. It's not just one thing, it's from the beginning till the end. How many great DNA qualities of a great sales call do you have? How many jokes did you have? How many times did you share stories? How many times did you get stories? How many times did you brand? How many times were you the professional? How many times did you dig deep? Etc., etc. I booked an appointment for somebody and they don't answer. I call them an hour later and they don't answer. I usually text them and say, I get it. Life happens. I'll put something together in the calendar for the same time tomorrow. Then after the fifth time, I say, where do you think we should go from here? What would you do differently here? A lot of us schedule appointments in sales and our response rate on those appointments is like 10% conversion. For the appointment, number one thing you have to do is you get more information than just an appointment. So if somebody wants to schedule an appointment with them, like, perfect, I'll definitely do that for you. What time works for you? All right, beautiful. Now, before I let you go, what were you looking to get done so I could, have everything ready to go for you before I call you? Okay. And how much are you paying right now on your electric bill? And are you married or single? And what is this? I try to get like 3, 4, 5 pieces of information from them. That way I got enough information for them to answer me. So step number one for appointments, try to get more information, because the more information you have, the more power you have, the more likely they are to pick up. Number two, I just texted you right now. Store my number before I let you go, so I make sure that you answer my number and I call you for the appointment. It's super important to me. My schedule is very busy. So a number two action you're adding for appointments, you're adding a notch of accountability. Like, hey, my schedule is important. I'm not chasing you. This is super important to me. Also, store my number in there and text me back so I have you stored in my phone. So that's a second notch. Third way to get appointments to answer more is you want to send multiple messages before the appointment. For example, right after I leave or I end the call, I'm like, hey, great talking to you, man. Can't wait to talk to you Tuesday at 10 a.m. And then maybe at night, hey, have a great night. Hopefully you enjoy the football game. Then in the morning, good morning, excited for our appointment in 2 hours. Then a half an hour before, hey, our appointment's coming up. Could you grab this document for me to make sure you're ready? That's 4 additional messages that I sent out before the appointment, not after the appointment. You see your message, you text them something after this, you text them something day 5. You're literally chasing them from the back, and I'm chasing them from the beginning. From the front, I'm chasing them. I want to know the appointment's serious before the appointment happens. You're trying to figure out why the appointment wasn't serious after the appointment happened. That's the difference, right? So when I'm talking to somebody and there's an appointment, those 3, 4 texts I send them before the appointment, if they don't answer me at all, I might cancel the appointment myself. I might say, you know what? This person's not serious. I sent them 4 texts, can't even answer me. But if they like my message and they say, great, can't wait to talk to you, I'm like, all right, now I got a good appointment on my hands. Now let's get this cooking. All right, here's another one. How do I overcome the objection the rate is too high without dropping my price? The way you overcome an objection that the rate is too high, the way you overcome any objection is you put the objection on a weight scale. And if the objection is on the weight scale right here and your product or service is up here, that means that the objection holds more weight than your product or service. But if the objection is up here and the benefits of your product or service weigh so much they're down here, you simply just compare it and say, look, I could totally understand that you like your interest rate and you don't want to go up in the rate, but tell me what's more important to you? Getting financially free, having the dream house you always dreamed about, saving money every single month, like whatever those benefits are of changing their life, is that more important or is the rate more important? People struggle with this because your weight scale sucks. Your weight scale is literally the objections here and your product and service and benefits are right here because you don't know enough shit about the client that you're changing their life. So you have to make sure that you have so many benefits and emotional goals and rapport and relationship built that you're like, I don't care what objection I'm going to get. It's going to be up here in the air because I got so much weight down here. And you simply just compare it with the client. And that's the best way to get rid of any objection in sales. Here's another question. What's one thing that you and top closers do that average people never figure out? Discipline. I think discipline in sales makes killers. Meaning if you could just stay disciplined to the routine factory line process of what it takes to be successful, meaning I come in, I call, text, email, voicemail, all my new leads, my hot leads every single day, like not just Monday, Tuesday, like every single day. You could check on me for the last 10 years All my clients get calls, texts, voicemail, emails. I'm using all of my weapons to communicate. That's discipline, right? Because I'm used to it. It's a habit. I'm disciplined to do it. Not everybody does it. Why? I don't know. If you had 4 guns and you're going to battle and you're battling someone that has a lot of weapons, would you only use one gun, run out of ammo, and then run away? Or would you pick up your AK, then pick up your shotgun, then hop in your tank and start shooting? So why do salespeople leave 3 of their weapons on the floor and only use one weapon to battle? I think every single form of communication is a weapon in sales. Every single weapon of communication is a weapon to get to business. Every single weapon of communication is a weapon to get you closer to your goals. People that don't use their weapons don't really understand their goals, or they don't want to fight for their goals. It's like, yo,
My dude, you want to buy a house, you want to get married, you want to do this, you want to save up money, you're sick of your life.
but like you're not even doing everything you can to be successful at your craft. So how bad do you really want it? Do you even understand what you're doing? Are you psychologically aware of life and what's going on? Like, are you aware that you call a client, he doesn't answer you, but you don't leave a voicemail, you don't text him, and then you just go eat lunch? Like, are you even conscious of what's going on? Or are you using all your resources to find success? Why aren't my leads converting even though they seem like they're interested? The only reason a client would not convert that seems like they're interested is because you didn't do enough work to make them convert. Either you didn't put in enough work in the first call, you didn't do good on the follow-up, you didn't do good on the follow-through, you didn't make it a no-brainer for them for it to make sense. Like, conversion is all based on influence and persuasion. If you're not influencing and persuading, you're not converting. So how strong is your sale? I told somebody today, I said, look, imagine that you're not like presenting your product or service in sales. Imagine you're presenting your product or service to a jury of 25 people. And your job is not to sell the product or service to your client, sell the product or service to the jury and tell the jury, hey, jury, this is why this client needs my product. They told me this and they told me that, and they're living like this and they're living like that. And could you convince a jury to say, yes, all 25 people, yes, client, buy their product or service. You need their product or service. And if you could switch your approach and pretend you're selling to a jury instead of a client, I guarantee you your sales will double. How do I stay consistent when I'm not feeling motivated? How do I stay consistent when I'm not feeling motivated? It goes back to discipline. I don't feel motivated every single day. I came back from Florida 2 days ago. Yesterday, I was still feeling the Miami Vices. I had like 18 Miami Vices in 4 days with floaters on top. I didn't feel like working yesterday. I was so busy. I didn't eat all day. I felt like I wanted to throw up. And you know what? I still got it done because it has to be done. You know why? Because my goals are more important than my attitude. My goals are more important than my behavior. So the way I stay consistent when I'm not feeling motivated is I say, I got shit to do. So people that are not consistent when they're motivated, the mistake that they have is they feel like they need to be motivated to be consistent, when that's wrong. You need to be consistent without being motivated. So you got to flip that question. It's not how do I stay consistent when I'm not feeling motivated. It's I don't care if I'm motivated or not, I will stay consistent. Reverse engineer that. What's your personal daily routine when you're in full sales mode? My routine when I'm in full sales mode is new leads, hot leads, and process leads, and then cleaning up my business, and then lunch, and then new leads, hot leads, and process leads, cleaning up my business, and then new leads, hot leads, and process leads, cleaning up my business. I try to go 3 rounds. Today I only got 2 rounds done because I got so much business for my 2 rounds. I didn't have to go 3. So it really depends. What's your biggest mistake in sales that you wish you fixed earlier? It's a real tough one for me because I mean, I preach sales and I teach sales. So it's hard for me to find, if I make a mistake, I'm like, you can't make a mistake because you're teaching everybody sales every single day and you'd be a fraud. But I'll tell you one mistake that I still make is that sometimes I'm so busy where I can't spend the full 30 minutes with a client on the phone. I'll rush it. I won't get deep enough. I'll try to take a shortcut and just get the deal real fast, and it ends up biting me in the ass at the end, or I don't get the deal. And I'm like, I know why I didn't get this deal. I know why this guy's not answering. It's because I didn't spend the time and the quality I needed on the first conversation with him, because I was busy, or because I was trying to get to a meeting, or because it was Friday and I was trying to get out of the office. So I think that mistake bit me a lot of times for the deals that I did lose. It's because I didn't go all the way in on those clients the first time. And I think if you could not prejudge and treat any client different, but treat every single client the same, whether they're highly qualified, low qualified, whether they're a big deal, a small deal, whether it's Monday or Sunday, if you could just create a process and be authentic and get to know your clients and go all in for your clients every single time, I think that you never have to worry or wonder if you did a good job, because you do a great job for every single client. And when I do have the time, I am doing that for every single client. Another question here that says, how long do you wait to send out that initial quote? I don't really send out an initial quote. I actually stopped sending out quotes. I have my whole team stop sending out quotes. What we do send out is we just send out a chart that I made that has a range of rates from the lowest to the highest, and it highlights the lowest, and then the lowest to the highest APRs along with that. And then it just has a picture of us, and then it has our credentials on there. We have 3 different options priced out for you. We want to figure out which one makes the most sense. And we're sending that to get the clients engaged with us. And then we want to get them on the phone to go over the right option for them. But as far as an official quote, I'm not sending out official quotes to my clients. Another question here says, someone is asking me for a price right off the bat with their APR and their price. I know what to say and I think it works good, but what would you say? If somebody asked me for a price right off the bat and the APR for the price, I'll say, look, it ranges from over here to over here. Ultimately, the goal of the whole rate and the APR is to save you the most money. What are you currently spending on your electric bill right now? Let's make sure this makes sense for you. You know, like I'd pivot it back to them and ask them like, hey, I'll get you the lowest rate available. You know, I'm going to do my best to get you that. And it's not going to be a problem. I'm going to fight for your business today. But ultimately, what are your goals? If we could get this done for you, what do you plan on doing? How are you living right now? So I'd pivot it back to them because it's not just about a rate and APR. It's about getting to know you and your life and figuring out how I could customize a solution that helps you personally and gives you a custom touch approach for you and your family. How do you handle transactional clients that are hard to connect with? Example, they give one-word answers and they're looking at numbers at the end of the day. That's a fair assessment. There are clients that do give you one-word answers. What I'd ask you first is don't judge every single client because one of them was dry. A lot of times what I do with dry clients is I say, let me see how I could crack this dry client. Let me see how I can make this dry client open up. If I can make this dry client like me, then I can make anybody like me. And you know what? Nobody else can make this dry client like me. That has to be your mindset with a dry client. That has to be your mindset with a tough client. And if you have that mindset, you're going to work a lot harder at getting them. And once you get them, guess what? That's the actual skill that helps you improve at your craft. That's the actual adversity. That's the actual tough challenge that makes you stronger in your craft. That's the first thing I do. And a lot of times out of every 2 dry clients, one of them is not dry no more because I worked at getting them undry. That makes sense. Number 2, if they are still dry and I try to crack jokes, I'm trying everything like, hey, buddy, don't you get it? Give me the numbers and make it quick. I'm like, no worries, man. I'll get you the best numbers and I'll get you them very quick. What's your date of birth and social? And I'll jump straight into it very aggressively. I'm like, you want to play hardball? Let's play hardball. So for the ones that want to play hardball, I'll play hardball, but I'll get them the best deal. I'll still send them an email and a text and a voicemail. I'll follow up with them thoroughly and I'll play their style the whole time. But initially, the first thing I do is I try to open them up because a lot of people that are dry or tough are just putting on a front. For all my mortgage peeps, we're launching our Mastering the Mortgage World bundle. Comes with a blueprint. It's a 300-page blueprint that tells you every single aspect of mastering the mortgage world. Realtors, lead buys, credit triggers, networking events, social media, lenders, guidelines, loans, how to sell them, scripts, emails, templates. So you got a blueprint of that, playbook of every single script for an email, text, phone call, and voicemail. Then you have a 90-day planner, and then you have a virtual interactive course. All this is going to be available for the price of one closing. You get your yearly membership. It's an awesome course, and I guarantee you're going to close multiple loans from this. So if you're in mortgages, make sure you get on the pre-order list before that sells out. Thank you guys so much. Have a blessed rest of your day.